Hello everyone, CatWeazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Arkham Horror, the living card game, Night of the Zealot, where we're now on episode 6 and we're just about to start turn 10. Just a couple of things from last episode, I did catch them, but yes, I made a couple of boo-boos. First of all, we had baseball bat. Now, when Wendy equipped baseball bat, I did take away the flashlight. I was just thinking it was a one-for-one swap. But baseball bat is two-handed. So that means she cannot carry the baseball bat and her derringer as well at the same time. So I have got rid of the derringer. I would have got rid of the derringer anyway. It's not a very good weapon. Baseball bat is far better. So it was okay though because we didn't use the derringer after we equipped the baseball bat. So I have put it into her discard pile and I've put it in the correct place as well, just after flashlight, just in case. Right, so we sorted that out. The other thing that Wendy should have done is she should have lost a damage. So she is down to 5 damage now. She lost the damage going into the cellar. That is forced. You have to lose a damage when you go into the cellar. So I have caught up on that as well. One other thing that Mark noticed was I did promote first aid, but I forgot to put the supplies on it. So it has got 3 supplies, so I have put those on now. I think that was it for last turn. I think we've pretty much caught up. So where is everybody? Well, Roland and Wendy are both in the hallway. And we have got Mr. Ghoul Priest out, who is looking particularly nasty at this time of year. So we're going to have to sort him out. So without further ado, let's get into turn 10 and the Mythos phase. And here we are at the Mythos phase. So first things first, that is a Doom on the agenda. So we've got 1 Doom out of 10. So we've still got a bit of leeway there. After that, we see if the agenda flips. It doesn't. So it is let's draw an encounter card fun. First of all, we have Roland, so let's see what we get. Ancient Evils, that's a good start. Revelation, place 1 Doom on the current agenda. This effect can also cause the current agenda to advance, not this time because we are not putting the 10th Doom token on the track, so we're fine. Dark forces stir against you. If you do not act quickly, a sinister plot will be fulfilled. Yes, we know. So let's get rid of that. And we put another Doom token on. Next, it is Wendy. Let's see what she gets. And she gets a swarm of rats. We could have done without these. So they're a hunter. They're quite easy to kill, but they're just a pain. A horde of cruel rats skitters forth in an undulating wave of claws, teeth and mottled fur. So we'll have to get rid of these. They arrive at the hallway and we'll put them with, I think they go with the person that drew them. So we'll put them there in Wendy's threat area. That's disappointing, but I think she should be able to baseball bat them to death, no problem. Right, that is the end of the Mythos phase, so let's move into the investigation phase. And here we are at the investigation phase. Our first player is going to be Wendy. So she is going to go first this time. First things first, let's get rid of this swarm of rats. Ideally, I wanted to get on with something else, but we're going to have to get rid of these guys. So they've got a combat of 1. Wendy's got a combat of 1. She's got the baseball bat, which gives her +2 for this attack. So I think that's going to be enough. Yeah, so she's got +2. So we need a -2 or better to get rid of these guys. And we get a skull token. She does actually have, there is a ghoul at the location. George pointed this out before. I made it a bit harder for myself a couple of turns ago where I was doing -2 for that skull token when it wasn't, because they weren't at the same location. But this time the ghoul is at the same location, so it is a -1, but that's still good enough to kill these guys. So that cost her an action. Move that down there. But we've still got 3 actions left, fortunately, because we've got Leo. What she's going to do now is she's going to use a second action to engage the ghoul priest. Now, the reason we're doing this is you cannot evade a monster unless you are engaged with it. Now, Roland could evade it, except he's not very good at evading. His what is it? His agility is appalling, whereas Wendy's is much better. The agility of the actual ghoul priest is very good as well, so that is why we're not having Roland do it, because there's a good chance he will just fail and he will be using up actions to no purpose. So let's have Wendy do it instead. So she's engaged this guy across. For a third action, she is going to try and evade it. So it's 4 agility, we've got 4 agility, and let's just have a look if anything can help us. Now, we could use elusive and go straight into the parlour, but there's another reason why I'm not doing that. The reason is I want Wendy to have a few more cards. I also want Roland to have a few more resources, because what we could have done is used elusive. She goes into the parlour with Lita and then tries to persuade Lita to come on our side. That'd be a good tactic. Additionally, then what Roland could do is Roland could try and biff the ghoul priest while it was exhausted, and then he could move in there and chuck the dynamite, except he hasn't got enough resources, so I'd have to waste an action on the resource, but with the movement and stuff it just doesn't work. So I'd probably have to not biff the exhausted ghoul priest to make that work. And I would rather get a hit in on it, to be honest. So I think if we wait a turn, then we can get those resources. We can also get probably an extra card for Wendy here, and then we can do it next turn. It does mean we have to go through a mythos phase, but let's risk it for a biscuit. So we're doing the evade, so it's 4 against 4. Are we going to chuck anything at it? Well, we've got an agility with dig deep, an ability, sorry, where we can add 1. So, and it's free. So, yes, I think we're going to put that. Oh no, we'd have to spend an action to put it into play. That's right. It is an asset. I'd rather pull a card. So it's 0 though. We're at 0. I mean, we can use her special ability, but we'd be getting rid of a card, and I particularly would like to keep these cards if I'm honest. So, ooh. Think. Perhaps Roland can help us. Perhaps he has an extra agility icon knocking around somewhere. So that's willpower. No. Intellect. 2 intellect. Intellect. No. That's a combat. No, he's got nothing to help either. Oh! That's horrendous. I would like at least a -1 or better, to be honest. Ooh, let's go for it. We'll just go for it. We need a 0 or better. Come on. Come on, bit of luck. And we get a -2, which is pants. So we're going to have to chuck something. I think we will chuck... We'll chuck guts. And we will draw again. We get 0, yes! So we just managed to do that. That means the Ghoul Priest is exhausted. Brilliant. Right, we've got one action left, and we're going to have to draw another card. We need to get some cards, so let's draw a card, and we get manual dexterity. Bloody hell, we could have used this for that test, but we managed to sneak through. So, innate trait, max 1 committed per skill test. If this test is successful, draw 1 card. Too easy. If only it was. Right, there we go. So, those are her actions. She's done the important thing, which is to exhaust the Ghoul Priest. So, brilliant stuff. We were taking a bit of a risk, but we appear to have got away with it, so that's good stuff. So, now it is Roland. What's Roland going to do? Well, I think the first thing Roland is going to do is to get some resources. So, he's going to spend his emergency cash. So, we will definitely have enough resources to play dynamite at a later juncture. Don't put it in Wendy's discard, put it in his own discard. So that is 3 resources we get. We can get them out of the box. There we go. It is 3, isn't it? Let's just check. Yep, gain 3 resources. So that's fantastic. That was his first action. For his second action, well, I think he may as well start trying to beat up on this exhausted Ghoul Priest. So he's got 4. We have Beat Cop, which is +1, and we have the machete that's +1, so that's 6. We also have, I think we will play Vicious Blow, which gives us 7, and it'll give us an extra damage as well. So that's 7 + 4. We are also playing Vicious Blow. So that's 7 against 4, which is a -3 or better. Is Wendy going to chuck anything at it? Yes. We're going to chuck Hard Knocks at it for that extra combat icon. It is a good card, but we need to get a good hit in early. So let's make sure we get this first hit in. So there we go. That'll be 8 versus 4. We need -4 or better. And we get a cultist symbol. I think that's fine. If you fail to take 1 horror, it's a -1. Yeah, that's fine. So we do hit it. So we get 1 that Roland does. We got 1 from the machete, so that's 2. We got 1 from Vicious Blow as well, so that is 3. Now, we could get 4 by discarding Beat Cop, but I'm not going to discard Beat Cop quite yet. We'll keep him on. So that is 3, I think. I don't think we get any more than 3. There's no other additional hits we get from anywhere. 3 is a good first hit, I think, so that's pretty good. Hard Knocks goes into Wendy's discard. Vicious Blow goes into Roland's. So a good start. We've got 3 damage on the Ghoul Priest, and he still has 1 action. So I think we're going to try and hit it again. Why not? While it's out for the count. Obviously we're not going to get as much by the way of bonuses this particular attack, but we're still pretty good. So we've got 4, 5, 6 with the machete, so it's still -2 or better. Go on, Roland. -1. Fantastic, lad. So that is another 2. So already we've got it at half health. So that is absolutely fabulous. That was his last attack. So that is the end of the investigation phase. Let's get on with the, what's next? The enemy phase. And here we are at the enemy phase. So, nothing major happening in that we've got an exhausted ghoul priest, we got rid of the rat swarm, so nothing is going on. That means we can move straight into the upkeep phase. And here we are at the upkeep phase, so let's refresh all our actions. Very good. And we have to unexhaust cards, which includes Mr. Ghoul Priest. So once again, he goes to the person, he preys on the person with the largest combat, which is our friend Roland. But let's make sure he takes his damage with him. Right, after that, what have we got? We've got gain a resource and also gain a card. So here's a resource for Roland. What's he got now? Something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 8, which is pretty cool. And his card. Come on, something good. Could do with something good. And we've got overpower. This is what we want. Look at that. 2 lovely combat icons. Skill. Practiced is its trait. Max 1 committed per skill test. If this test is successful, draw 1 card. Die, you beast. So there we go. Quite why they've got a pirate on, I don't know, but there we go. So put that here. Then we will look at Wendy. She gets a resource. Puts her up to 4. And she gets a card as well. Come on, something good. Sneak attack. This is exactly what we wanted. Those are 2 fantastic draws. This will be brilliant. We may be able to kill it this turn. So cost 2, it's an event. It's got an intellect icon and a combat icon. But the good thing is, tactic, deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. I don't think, we may not even have to use the dynamite. Fantastic. So that is a great draw. Mind you, we've still got this baby to turn up in the Mythos phase. So the encounter deck could still do for us, but it is looking a lot better. So that was fabulous. Brilliant stuff. Right, that is it for the upkeep phase. So let's get straight into turn 11 and the Mythos phase. And here we are at the Mythos phase, so let's get our drawing done. But first of all, before we do any of that, it's another Doom. We're not flipping the agenda, so now it is these. Come on, something okay. Grasping Hands, that is not okay. Hazard, Revelation, Test Agilities, Agility's appalling. It's 2. For each point you fail, take 1 damage. That's not too bad. Perhaps we can afford to fail, to be honest. Decaying Hands rise up from below and grasp and claw at your ankles. We could probably... Yeah, I'm not going to chuck anything at this. He has got 6 health. So, I do not think he can be killed, even if we get an auto fail. So, what have we got? Got 3 versus 2, is it? So, we need a +1. And we get, that is a -1, isn't it? I think we lose a horror as well with that one, because we've failed. Yes, so that's a -1, so we lose 2. Ooh. We'll only lose, I'll tell you how we'll do it. So, he will lose 1 damage, put him down to 5. The other damage will go on our friend O'Malley, And the horror will go on O'Malley. He's got 2 health and he's got 2 sanity, so he can take 1 of each. Woohoo! Good old O'Malley. Taking 1 for the team. So that is cool. We can get rid of that. And now it is Wendy's turn. What does she get? Rotting Remains. Terror. Revelation. Test willpower 3. For each point you fail, take 1 horror. A sickening display of gore causes you to retch. You're glad this wasn't you. Right, so that's not too bad. Again, she's still got 5 sanity, so that's not too bad. Can we chuck anything at it? What is it, a willpower test? I could put Dig Deep in play, and then we get this sort of Freeman stuff here. She's got 4 willpower, it's 3, so that's already -1 or better. Let's spend 2. We'll spend 2 of these resources, put it into play, and that means we'll spend an extra resource to give us an extra willpower. That's right, 2 to put it into play and an extra resource to get this extra willpower. So that gives us a willpower of 5 versus 3 is -2 or better. Come on. -2. Yes. Super. Brilliant. So we've got rid of that. Plus we've managed to get a card in play that we wanted in play anyway. I think you can play it. Doesn't say you can't play it, so let me know on that one. But I think you can play it during the Mythos phase. I don't think there's a problem. Actually, I better check that. I'll just check that. Won't be a second. Sorry about that. Sorry about the slight delay. It was a bit longer than I anticipated. As well as looking that up, I've some of the coin capsules had come adrift. I don't know if you heard it while you were shaking the bag. Some of the lids had come off, so I've just had to glue a couple on. Anyway, right. So yes, we're fine. Got this handy sort of like diagrammatic here on page 23 of the rules reference and Mythos phase, and you do have a player window. So I think we're absolutely fine to do that. And there's a thing here about skill tests as well somewhere. So skill test timing. So we determine the test and then we do get a player window. We can commit cards from hand to the skill test, which we did. Well, we sort of put it into our, because it's an asset, we put it into our player area and then we could use it in the player window. So I think we're fine. Excellente. Let's put this over here. Right, there we go. So I think that was fine. That is the end of the Mythos phase, so let's get into the investigation phase. And here we are at the investigation phase. Wendy is going to go first again. And first thing she's going to do is she is going to engage the Ghoul Priest. So he's coming all the way over here with all his damage. And we are going to try and evade him again. Woohoo! Now, originally what I was going to do was I was going to use elusive, yeah, fast, play only during your turn, disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies, and we could have pretty much gone straight to Lisa Chandler. The only problem with that is it means we can't play sneak attack because we're moving away, and we'd need 2 resources. We've only got 1. So what we're going to do is we're not going to do that. We're going to stick around because we do want to play sneak attack. So second action, she is going to try and evade it. But we do have manual dexterity So we're going to play it to get 2 extra agility. That gives us an agility of 6 versus the agility of 4. Hopefully these will stay glued together. I'll probably have to go through and glue them all actually. And -2 or better, and we've got -2. That's good enough. Brilliant. So this guy's exhausted. Woohoo! Manual dexterity gets discarded. We do get another card because we played it and succeeded. And our next card is Switchblade. Item, weapon, melee, illicit. So even this, we can spend this for an agility if we have to. Fast, and as an action, fight. If you succeed by 2 or more, this attack deals +1 damage. We'll just leave it down there. It'll be a good card to chuck away should we have to do a redraw. Right, so she's done that. It's exhausted. Let's have a look at sneak attack. We may as well play it now. So, ooh, we'd need 2 to play it. We've only got 1. So for our third action, we're going to gain a resource. I don't like doing that normally. It seems a bit of a waste. You know, it's a waste of an action. But in this particular case, we've done that. So we've now got 2. For our fourth and final action, we're going to play sneak attack. So there we go. We've paid 2. Tactic, deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. So let's put a 3 on. Take 1 off. So what's it at now? Look at that. 5, 6, 7. Woo! So we have got 7 damage on it. That is fantastic. That is the end of her go. And, oh, as fast, we could have... Oh no, we didn't want to spend the resource, so that's okay. Forget about that. So that is brilliant. That is Wendy's go. It is now Roland's go. Can he finish it off? Let's see. First action. He is going to attack, baby. So, I mean, he could move away. It's exhausted. He could move into the parlour and lob the dynamite right away. But that is obviously going to cause 3 damage to Wendy. And, you know, he's a federal agent, man. He's not going to do that. I know there are some players out there that would absolutely do that. And it'd be tough. Because it's win-win-win, man, at any cost. But I'm afraid Roland... I don't play that way. Roland would no way chuck dynamite to endanger a child. Absolutely no way would he do that. So he's going to use his first action to attack, but he has overpower. So he's going to attack with his machete, and he's going to commit overpower. Die, you beast, which gives him 2 extra combat. So he's got 1 from the beat cop, 1 from the machete, 2 from overpower, which is 4. For himself is 8. 8 minus 4. We need a -4 or better. Come on, Rolly. Let's be having it. And we get... Woohoo! That's good enough. That is good enough. So we have hit the Ghoul Priest. What is more? Let's get rid of that. It has served its purpose. And we get to draw another card. And we get dodge. So 1, cost, event, willpower, agility, tactic, fast. So it doesn't cost an action. Play when an enemy attacks an investigator at your location. Cancel that attack. Nice card. But I don't think we'll need it. Because now it comes to putting damage on this guy. There's 1 damage from Roland himself. Takes it up to 8. Then, oh, let's make it a bit easier by swapping these over. can see it a bit easier. So it's on 8 for the damage that Roland did to it. There's an extra damage from the machete. That makes it 9. And finally, now you know, if you've been reading like the little narratives that I've been doing, you'll know why I've made O'Malley out to be a bit of a dick. Because I had a feeling I might have to do this. And I'd rather do it to a character I don't like. So the rather nasty O'Malley, he's had a chance to redeem himself, and as a final act, he's going to be discarded to deal 1 damage to an enemy at our location. So as his final act, he selflessly sacrifices himself in order to put the final damage on our friend the Ghoul Priest. Yes! The crowd goes wild. And we get 2 victory points for getting rid of this guy. Excellent stuff. So put him up here. Our victory point score goes to 4. Let us just check our act card. Just depends on when we're able to do it. If the Ghoul Priest is defeated, advance. It's defeated, so we don't have to wait till the end of the turn or anything, so let's flick it over. When the robed creature falls, the fiendish swarm burrows back into the ground, and the chaos of the house quiets. But the stranger in your parlour doesn't seem relieved. You broke my seal that was set to trap the ghouls within. She raises her torch. Now we must take more direct measures and burn this hell pit to the ground. The lead investigator, which is Roland, must decide, and we must choose one. It was never much of a home. Burn it down. We go to resolution 1. Or this hell pit is my home. No way are we burning it, which is resolution 2. And that's the one with tech in. Because again, it may not be the optimal move. And it seems that way, because that's resolution 1, that's resolution 2. But he's not going to let somebody burn down his house. It's just rubbish. Some, like Skids. Skids is different. Skids might, because Skids is like, he's pretty crazy himself. And Agnes, for example, might do it. But for Daisy Walker, Wendy, Roland, they're not going to let anybody burn their house down. They're going to tell them to get stuffed. Especially some crazy woman who snuck in without permission and has been turning the place into some sort of ghoul nightclub. So he's going to tell her to get stuffed. So he's not going to burn it down. We may as well keep that out. But we've got to go to resolution 2. So here is the campaign guide. Again, avert your eyes a little if you don't want to see what the resolutions are. And let's flip across. Do not read until the end of the scenario. Actually, I'll get a card or something, because I don't want to read the others. So we're not going to read resolution 1, that's at the bottom. So, but this is, you read this anyway at the end of the scenario. If no resolution was reached, each investigator would die. No, so we don't read that. So we're on to this phase, which is, sorry, this page, which is resolution 2. Here we go, this is ours. You refuse to follow the overzealous woman's order and kick her out of your home for fear that she will set it ablaze without your permission. Fools, you are making a grave mistake, she warns. You do not understand the threat that lurks below, the grave danger we are all in. Still shaken by the night's events, you decide to hear the woman out. Perhaps she can shed some light on these bizarre events, but she doesn't seem to trust you very much. Well, I don't trust her very much either. Right, so first of all, in your campaign log, record that your house is still standing. Our house is still standing. The flowers are still standing. Bonus points for anyone knows where that came from. The lead investigator earns 1 experience, as he or she refuses to let the night's events destroy his or her life. Yes, So that is an extra experience point for Roland. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display. Another thing we've got to put in the victory display is the attic, but that is part of our 4. Remember to add eligible locations. Yes, we've done that. Each investigator earns 2 bonus experience as he or she gains insight into the hidden world of the mythos. Dun, dun, dun. We're not reading 3 either. Right, so what we've got there is we've got 4 victory points there. We have got, let's bring some of these into play. But we've also got experience for Roland. He got 1 for not letting his house be burned down, plus a bonus 2, so he gets 3. And it is 2 for Wendy. Right, so that's pretty good. So all in all, he's got 7 experience points, and we have 6 experience points for Wendy that we can spend on upgrading the characters. Woo! But that won't be till next time. So there we go. The gathering has been completed, and we managed to defeat the ghoul priest, and all his horrible minions have gone burrowed back into the earth. I imagine our house is now returning to normal, and well, Roland's house is returning to normal, and we've got some crazy woman on the doorstep who's ranting on and still trying to burn our house down, but we're not going to let her. So I do know what the resolution is the other way, but the main reason why I picked this is as I just said. He's not going to let anybody burn his house down. That's just crazy talk. He's not going to do it. Right, so resolution 2 is over, and the gathering is over, and episode 6 is over. So next time we will be moving on into part 2, which is the Midnight Masks, where we will hopefully leave the house and we will be entering the streets of Arkham in order to continue our investigations against this evil cult that has sort of sprang up in Arkham and needs to be defeated before it gets around doing whatever its crazy business is, which is sure not to be good. So, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for all the views, for all the likes, for all the subscriptions, and for all the help and support. Thank you very much. Also, thanks go out to everybody who has weighed in with hints, tips, strategies, rules corrections, all that sort of thing. Thank you very much. Whenever I've missed anything, there's been somebody there to put a little comment on and put me on the straight and narrow once again, and that is fabulous. Thank you very much. And also, thanks must go out to everybody who's been upvoting the site on Board Game Links as ever. Thank you very much as well. That is fabulous. And next time, yes, next time we'll be carrying on and we will be moving into the next scenario, which is called the Midnight Masks, I believe. So I hope you will join me for episode 7 of Arkham Horror, the living card game, Night of the Zealot. But until then, it's goodbye from me, from Roland and from Wendy. Toodaloo.